They don't raise their voice. They don't argue with emotion. They don't need to. Because by the time you realize what's happening, the decision has already been made. The path has already been chosen, and the game was already over. You just didn't know you were playing. This is the INTJ in shadow. INTJs are often seen as visionaries, focused, strategic, independent thinkers. They plan for the long term. They build systems. They calculate trajectories no one else can see. At their best, they're architects of clarity, bringing structure to chaos and direction to vision. But when the INTJ's internal world becomes threatened, that clarity can collapse, and their precision becomes precision weaponized. When the INTJ feels misunderstood, blocked, or undermined, something shifts. They don't explode, they don't plead, they close the gate and begin operating from the shadows. Not to communicate, but to correct. Not to collaborate, but to control. The first sign is often emotional dissonance. They say the right things, they nod, they empathize, but something feels off. There's no true connection, just simulation. That's Fe Trickster. The INTJ doesn't fully trust extroverted emotion. In shadow, they mimic it, but twist it, mirror it back, or use it to confuse. Their words may sound kind, but the intent may serve the strategy, not the relationship. And if the pressure continues to mount, if their vision is challenged, or their authority questioned, they may descend deeper. Here, we meet SI Demon. This function doesn't distort memory, it reconstructs it. Past events are reshaped, reinterpreted, not for accuracy, but for narrative cohesion. The INTJ doesn't lie. They redefine the context. They reframe history to justify the future they've already decided. And once that internal reality is set, external contradiction becomes irrelevant. You express doubt. You suggest a new path. They pause. They smile. And then they remind you of a moment that proves you wrong. A moment you don't quite remember that way. But you're not sure anymore. Because the way they tell it, it feels inevitable. That's not logic. That's not memory. That's shadow. When balanced, the INTJ leads with NI, introverted intuition. It gives them vision, depth, and foresight. TE helps them build and act, strategically, efficiently. FI, though internal, guides their values. SE, their inferior function, grounds them in physical reality when they allow it. But in the shadow, Fe Trickster manipulates emotional dynamics they don't fully understand. SI Demon reshapes the past into a tool for control. And TI, as the critical parent, emerges like a scalpel wielded without empathy, cold, precise, and cutting at the core of others' logic to establish dominance. This isn't evil, it's not malice. It's cognition unintegrated. A fortress built from fear, where control becomes safety. INTJs don't seek to dominate because they enjoy power. They seek structure, because structure makes the world safer, predictable, defensible. But when that structure is built on distortion, when strategy replaces relationship and control replaces trust, the architect becomes the manipulator. Awareness isn't weakness, it's the beginning of self-mastery. Because the most powerful vision is one that includes the present moment, not just the future they planned. In our next episode, we shift from cold strategy to quiet sacrifice, from the architect of control to the artist of emotional undercurrents. We'll explore the shadow of the INFP, how this gentle, idealistic type can subtly manipulate through guilt, withdrawal, or passive defiance. Not with plans, but with silence. Not with commands, but with pain. If the INTJ builds the system, the INFP becomes the soul behind the curtain. Ready to master your own mind? If this episode made you rethink how you use strategy, memory, or emotional distance, drop a comment and share what hit hardest. Was it Fe Trickster, SI Demon, or that quiet moment when control replaced connection? Subscribe for the next deep dive, because shadow work isn't about judgment, it's about integration. And if you know an INTJ or R1, share this video with someone who needs to understand the strategist behind the silence. Thanks for watching. See you on the next episode.